Hello, good evening. We are here to drop in and indulge in a little energy clearing, energy charging, realignment, and bring in some quantum visioning tonight. We're going to time hop back to the future. And this is a session that was inspired by what came through in the collective weekly weather report wildcard read. There's some interesting energy in play where we're really trying to get in touch with our desires, where our souls are tugging us at this time, where we feel compelled to explore, to expand, maybe break some rules, maybe rebel a little bit in the name of living by heart instead of living according to someone else's dictates for us. And so there's some interesting dynamics in play because some of this impulsivity can actually lead us down a rabbit hole that can take us on quite a journey. And sometimes that's the point, is to go on a journey. But we can feel a little bit lost along the way and have to go through some challenges that we might prefer to avoid. And so I thought, maybe it would really help people to have the opportunity to align with the timeline that will give them the most fulfilling future and kind of bring into perspective those urges you may have in this moment, those things that you are at the crossroads about, that you're uncertain about. You're not sure, should I go this way? Should I go that way? And instead, holding the intention of going the way that leads to the greatest heart's fulfillment and to be open, to not have to put a framework around that, but to really enter into that space, which is the positive side of the Uranus energy, which is all about willingness to do something different, to be open, to go with the flow, even if the flow is very unfamiliar. It's an adventure kind of energy. It's a revolutionary sort of energy. And so I thought we'd tap into that tonight. And I'm going to guide you through a process. So you can pick a timeline and you may choose to stay on the current one you're on. Um, that will all be revealed to you as you go through this process. It is my intention that this is a very empowering experience for you. Guide your steps, your choices that you make, all from your intuition. The prompts that I will give in the meditative space will just be simply guidelines for how you to enter into your own truth, access that, and bring it to the forefront of your consciousness so you can really work with these energies to actively manifest the future you're ready to call in, one that's really in alignment with your greatest expression of who you're here to be, right? I mean, don't we all want that? We want to live our life on purpose, right? So I'm going to start with a little smoke cleansing. And I'm going to be using this for the first time tonight. This was gifted to me by my sister Danielle. She's a very dear friend of mine. I've been friends with her since I was like 15 years old. And this is a copalera, and it is for burning offerings of copal. And for those of you who are not familiar with copal, copal is a resin, and it's a very beautiful, protective energy. It's also very reverent, and it's attuned to the energy of love. So it's a beautiful offering. It's a wonderful offering for the ancestors. And we're going to do some really expansive work tonight. So I thought this would be a wonderful time to call this in. But yeah, she threw this on the potter's wheel for me. And I just absolutely love it. And I thought, what a wonderful opportunity um, to break it in tonight. And so I'm just going to get some of this copal going here and do a little energy clearing for you all so we can settle into the space of the work we're going to do tonight. Bringing in that hawk medicine for the visioning work we will be doing. Clearing away any energies that may be clinging to you, any heaviness that you may be feeling, or concerns that may have been on your mind before you arrived here. No matter when you're catching this space is for you. And your intentions hold just as much power in this space. And you're welcome here. This is a space for you to receive and for you to open to the keys that are all inside of you. Bring in a little bit more of that. It's just so lovely. And I'm going to make some warding salt with these ashes. So beautiful protective energy to bring in. And I'll be working with that warding salt that I make with the candle work that we do this week. So I want you to think about those choices you're trying to make. You know, it seemed like with the collective weekly weather report, there's a lot of people trying to make up their minds about what choice they want to make, and they feel pulled in two different directions, can't decide between their head and their heart. There's a lot of fear. Okay? There's a lot of fear to cleanse away, a lot of fear around the vulnerability of what it means to open the heart, to listen to the heart, trust the heart. We're just calling in a little bit of softening energy. And at least within this space, for you to feel safe to just open up and release any contraction in your body. Maybe take a nice deep breath and just sigh it out. I will have timestamps available for everything. We're going to do some Reiki energy clearing and a little bit of like a meditative visualization that will help guide you through the process of choosing your timeline. And you're going to be guided in what direction to go with that by your future self, your future self. So I think I'm just going to dive into it because it feels right. And this session is a little bit different than the other ones I've done with you. So you can see we got like kind of like trippy lighting going on. We're in this sort of liminal space, and we have to enter a liminal space if we're going to do any kind of murk writing. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do a little journey and we're going to travel out onto the ether. But first, I want to make sure that you're really nice and grounded, okay? Because even as we expand into these planes of higher consciousness, it's very important that we have a good grounding cord. So I think I really want to start you with that, okay? I think I want to start you with that grounding. Um, and then I'll bring in some Reiki and we'll move into the higher states. So you just have that energy surrounding you, um, holding that space as you do this visioning, as you do this journeying, and it feels like a very secure space to you. So I want you to just close your eyes, take a moment to just sink into your body. Give your weight over to the surface of your seat and sit comfortably in a way that you can just relax and let everything go. Take a few nice, deep cleansing breaths all the way down to your root. All the way at the base of your spine. And envision there a red rosebud. And see if you can envision your breath traveling down on that inhalation, entering that red rosebud at the tip of your spine. And allow that air, that prana to start circulating within that rosebud and loosening its petals, and those petals begin to gently unfurl, softening, opening, relaxing into full, luscious bloom. Now from this red rose, envision a stem coming down directly into the surface beneath you, down deeper into the ground, traveling through the topsoil, traveling through the nutrient-rich layers of soil where the worms are aerating the ground and providing nutrients for future growth. Down deeper still into the rocky adobe layers of the earth, down into the water template, to the deep, deep cavernous layers where the crystals form and there's bubbling limpid pools. Deeper still into the layers of earth where it's just darkness, silence, peace, and a feeling of being held. Take a nice deep breath into this layer and just really drink in that feeling of being held in that place of darkness, held in that in-between liminal space, that space before the light enters and illuminates the way forward. And how there can be comfort in this space. How we can soften into this space. And take your stem down deeper still. And as you dive deeper with that stem, notice the heat that's beginning to rise up from it, rise up in through your body, washing through your body. And that stem goes deeper and deeper still until it plunges into the core of the earth. And then envision that stem drinking up that molten energy, that transformational energy from the cauldron of the earth, the core of the earth, all the way up the stem, all the way up through the different layers of earth that your stem traveled through, all the way up into that root at the base of your spine, where that red rose now glows like a brilliant garnet. And just drink in that energy of the garnet crystal as it's infused into this rose. At Muladhara, your root chakra, feel the strength, the solidity, your connection to your ancestors, your connection to the earth itself, the way the earth holds you, the way all the elements support you. And just drink in the beauty and the strength that comes from the acknowledgement of that, how you are held and supported by the very earth that you rest upon without fail. Now drink that energy up right to your center, to Svadhisthana, your sacral chakra, and envision an orange rose coming into full bloom and glowing with the energy of carnelian as this earth energy fills that space, illuminating this beautiful carnelian rose, embodying those energies of creativity, sensuality, the ability to manifest and birth your dreams. And then carry this earth energy up now into Manipura, your solar plexus chakra, and envision a yellow rose coming into full bloom, illuminated by the energy of honey calcite. And this honey calcite, it has the ability to clear all the chakra channels, and you allow this energy right there at your solar plexus to glow golden like warm honey, and you feel this starting to flow all through you, filling all of your chakra centers with sweetness, soothing all the bitterness, tempering it, bringing you into this beautiful place of sweetness and warmth, and just feel the way that feels just within in your cells. See what that awakens in your cellular memory, to just feel this sense of sweetness, this nurturing, this warmth, this golden glow. And I want you to envision this golden glow. It's growing, it's growing larger, larger. It's starting to expand beyond the confines of your physical body. It's starting to surround you like an orb, like this beautiful liquid honeyed sun, expanding all around you and creating this soft sweet, but also very empowering space for your energy to be contained within. And now I want you to imagine that you're starting to rise up. You're starting to levitate inside of this orb. And you're rising up out of the space that you're sitting in now. And you're contained and you're held and you're protected. You're empowered in your own energy. It feels safe as you allow yourself to give over to this experience of something new, something different. As you rise up, up, up into the sky, into the night sky. As you're rising up over the sky, clouds are passing you by. You can't help but look at the clouds and reminds you of when you were a child. You would lay in the field and you would look up at the sky and you would dream. You would dream of the future and things yet to be. And you would imagine. I want you to take a moment now to just imagine what would you like your future to be? Do you know? What are your dreams? What would you do if there were no limitations, all possibilities were open to you? Now I want you to take it a step further. What if you dropped, just as an experiment, what if you dropped your ideas of what that looks like? Maybe you've become attached to a certain story, a certain identity, a certain person, place, or thing. What if instead of the picture you have attached to your dream, what if you just instead got in touch with what it would feel like if your dream came true? See if you can get in touch with that. How would your life be different? Would you be happy? Would you be excited? Would you feel hopeful? Like all things were possible to you? What would that feel like in your body? See if you can really get in touch with what it would feel like to be fulfilled. What would it feel like to be loved completely, to be accepted completely, to be happy? Where do you feel that happiness in your body? Where do you feel that sense of completeness, that peace? What would it feel like to be living on purpose, to actually be living out your birthright? Your orb travels into a cloud and you open your eyes now and you're not quite sure where you are, but you see some lights peeking through. As the cloud clears, you find yourself drifting in space. And you look down beneath you and you notice that your orb is traveling along a track. It's traveling along the timeline. Just have a look at it. What color is this timeline you're on? See if you can give it a form. Is it a smooth timeline? Does it have twists and turns? Are there bumps in this timeline? Are there places where it connects with other timelines? Is there an off ramp for this timeline? You look around you and you notice all throughout the galaxy, there's all these timelines, all different colors, spanning out in all different directions of time and space. And you're being given an opportunity at this time to choose your own future. And I want you to remember that feeling you had, what it would feel like if your dreams were to come true. What fulfillment, what completeness, what attainment would feel like in your body. I want you to stay connected to that feeling as you look out before you and choose. Will the timeline you're currently on take you to where you want to go? Or can you feel a soul tug to choose another? I'm going to bring in some Reiki now while you make that choice. And those of you who do not wish to receive Reiki tonight, in order to stay within this meditative space, just simply state to yourself, no, thank you. And if you wish to receive the Reiki, just say to yourself, yes. I will bring this in for you now to support you, those of you who are choosing to receive it. Really lean in to that feeling that you built in your body of what it would feel like to be living on purpose. What it would feel like to be living from that space where your heart is complete, where you have everything that you need, where you feel a sense of joy and gratitude for your life. And consider this choice strongly. Do understand that this is an important choice, because in making this choice, it's an acknowledgement that you get to choose your path in life. You are the creator of your life. It is that one force working through the universe, the multiverse, running through you. And so you can trust where your intuition is guiding you. And some of you may look at the timeline you're on, and though other timelines may pique your curiosity, intuitively you know they're just not for you. And that's okay too. The point is to feel empowered in your choice and to allow that feeling that you built of what it would mean to live your life on purpose is in alignment with the path you choose for yourself. Okay. And when you're ready, I want you to make your choice. And if you're choosing a new timeline, go ahead and hop on over to it. And just take a moment for those of you who have hopped over to a new timeline. Just take a moment to feel it out. Does it feel different in your body to be on this new timeline? What are your initial impressions? What sensations are you feeling? And for those of you who chose to stay on your current timeline, how is it feeling in your body now to know that you consciously chose to remain on the path you're on? Notice how that shifts your perspective. Notice how already that makes you feel more confident in the direction you've chosen for yourself. That maybe you're starting to see that alignment does not mean perfection. That's a beautiful thing. Whatever timeline you're on, I want you now to envision that there is a light growing up ahead. This light seems to be getting closer and closer to you. It's coming into your orbit. Single point of light. It's orbiting around you. And you look closely into this orb and see inside your future self. And your future self has a key. And this key, it unlocks all the potential of the timeline you chose for you. It has all the clues you need to avoid anything that could create blockages on your path, that gives you all the insight you need to avoid unnecessary stalls along the way. It offers you special support in actualizing the very best of what this timeline has to offer you, its gifts, with ease and with support, tangible support, spiritual support. This key also helps you unlock the places inside of you that feel confident enough to step into the full potential of this timeline and what it will awaken in you. And for just a moment, this orb of your future self merges with the orb you're in, and you get handed this key. It comes through as a ball of energy, and you hold it between your hands and thank your future self. Now back in your own space, you start to descend. With this key you're holding between the palm of your hands. And you break the barrier of the earth and you start passing through that layer of the atmosphere where those clouds are passing by you again. Softening your descent back down into reality as you have known it. Your timeline following you, lining the way forward. Now you're conscious of it and you know at any time you can always make a different choice and that they are your choices to make. Now your orb merges with the cloud. And you feel held in that softness. Now suddenly you find yourself back in your seat, still surrounded by the energy that you gathered around you. Consider it a shield for just holding your intentions in this space while you process this experience over the next few days. You're now back in your room, back here with me. And I want you to take your hands and clap them together and vigorously work with that energy of that key, that light key that you were given. Build up its power in your hands and bring your hands together and apart and just feel that energy of your future in the palm of your hands. The dream actualized, your purpose activated in the palm of your hands. And if you have a candle that you are going to light with me, go ahead and hold your candle in your hands now and feel the energy of that future merging with the candle. And if you don't have a candle, it's okay. Close your eyes, turn your eyes up to the point in between your eyebrows, ajna, third eye chakra, and you can light a candle there. Hold the energy with me as I light this candle to set our collective intention for moving forward into this week. 4:44 on the clock. We got angels in the house. I always call them in when I do this kind of work. I called in Michael and Raphael, Metatron and Uriel. Thank you. Thank you for protecting this space. Thank you for awakening us to the truth that we are the creators of our life and we can create from a space that aligns us with a higher vision, that we can create from a space that empowers us so that we can stand tall in our choices, knowing that they are our choices alone, dictated by the truth of our hearts and the stirring of our souls. We ask for your support as we move forward into this week to get acclimated to the timeline we have chosen. We ask that you help us remain open to the synchronicities that will be showing up on our paths. Those keys activated, unlocked, opening new doors of opportunity on this timeline that we were not aware of before. Let those who are meant to come in and support the highest expression of this timeline find their way onto our path. Let the messages needed to spark inspiration, hope, and the seeds of new visions be activated this week through ordinary day-to-day experiences, when we recognize that there are no ordinary moments and the ordinary becomes something extraordinary as we see that we are the creators of our lives and we can make it truly whatever we want it to be. Help us as we cast away fear and step into this empowerment to make choices that consider what will truly give us the most fulfillment, and to let our guide into that fulfillment be not a set picture, not a static image, but the prompting of our heart, the stirring of our soul, the awakening of our enthusiasm, and the part of us that is filled with wonder and gratitude for the magic and miracle of life that will be witnessed as this week unfolds. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We will to will the higher will. We will to will the higher will. We will to will the higher will, and know that we are held in perfect love and perfect trust. Blessed be, so mote it be. Amen. Ashe. Thank you for joining me.